Guys, until you're inside the UK, until you have passed immigration and border controls, anything can happen. Like, anything can happen. Until you're inside the UK, I'm stressing it, until you've passed that immigration border control successfully, anything can happen. You can be sent back home, yes, even if you have a visa. You can be detained, and you don't even want to begin to think about all the stress that you would go through while you're waiting for a decision, all the trauma that it could cost you. So today's episode of Yettysplash, I'm going to tell you things you need to avoid saying to immigration control to avoid them sending you back to your home country or detaining you. And I'm saying this from a true life story of someone who came into the UK recently and was detained for hours. So if this interests you or you're coming into the UK, this is one video that you shouldn't miss at all. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Hi guys, my name is Yeti and welcome to another episode of Yettysplash. Please do well to subscribe, like and share. And to all my returning old subscribers, you guys are amazing. I thank you so much for coming back to watch my videos. So on today's episode of Yettysplash, I'm going to be telling you the story of someone that I know that was detained at the immigration airport because of what she said to the border officer that was, interviewing her at the point of entry. So if this interests you, don't go anywhere. You have to watch to the end, because I'll tell you what she said and what led to her detainment, and I'll also share with you, a copy of the letter she was given while she was detained, so that those of you that are coming in, you take this as a serious lesson and as a serious warning that when you're coming in, you have to have all your answers properly researched and prepared before you answer them at immigration control, because until you are inside the UK, anything can still happen. So I was at home on this fateful day, and this friend of mine reached out to me because I did all the admission processing and everything. She has gotten her visa and she was even supposed to just come into the UK. She has booked her flight, everything was all sorted out, and then I was just home and I got the message from her that she has landed, but she's unable to come into, she's having border problem issues. And I was like, when it's not like you have cocaine in your bag or anything, why would they be disturbing you at the immigration control center? Why are you not coming in? And then she also took a picture of the letter she was sent, and that they said they have to detain her for further questioning. Guys, at that point I just said, you know what, calm down, just pray, everything will be under control. But I knew where the mistake was going to be. Like, as long as you've not done anything illegal, you're not carrying that substance, you're not carrying weapons or anything, there are only very few reasons why you would be detained at the immigration point, and that is what I'm sharing with you in this video today. So I'm just going to give you a picture of what she was. First, she said that that the interview was going well, she was done, and then when it got to a point, they asked her several questions about her. She's quite a very smart one as well. So they asked her several questions like, what university are you attending? She gave them the name. But the problem began when they asked her, where would you be staying? And then she told them she was going to be staying at an Airbnb apartment. Damn! God, when she said that was what she said, I knew there was already a fuck up. Because I always say this in all my videos. If you've watched my previous video on how to answer precast interview questions, because ultimately precast interview questions are also the kind of questions they ask you at the border point. And I always say this to people, you have to have a research answer ready. There is no underbridge in the UK. You can't tell an immigration officer that you want to stay in an Airbnb or an hotel. It is best you have a concrete address of where you're going to, and let them know that you have your accommodation settled, because accommodation is a big deal in the United Kingdom. So immediately she told the immigration officer that all they had to do was to detain her to further ensure that is this a genuine student, and would she is she coming into the UK for the purpose in which she has listed that she's coming, or she has stated that she's coming into the UK. They had to further do some verification, started probing her more, started asking her to present documents, even as far back as asking her for a reference letter, for her to show them a visa application that was done and everything. It was a rigorous one, guys. It was a rigorous one. So I'm going to share with you shortly the notes they gave her when she was detained. So I'm going to share with you the form that was given to her while she was detained, okay? The form has border force information. The purpose of this form is to inform you that the border force officer intends to make further inquiries, or there are other formalities to be completed before you can pass through the immigration control. It also explained the reason for your detention. You will be kept informed of any development. Like, guys, she was detained for a long period of time. You can just imagine what is going through someone that is just coming into the UK for their masters and then they are being detained, and you'll be like, hey, oh God, hope it's not that my village people eventually followed me to this place, because you're just there wondering what could have happened, what could I have done, what is wrong, like what did I say wrong, what have I done? But that's the way it is when you're coming into the UK. Something like accommodation is something that you must either have sorted out, or you have a ready-made answer to give to them, or you give them your university address, but you cannot tell them that, oh, you're coming in, you just stay in an Airbnb apartment for like 2 days, and then when you come in you will sort out your accommodation. They will not let you go easily. So let's continue reading this. And then the further states that they wrote the name, and then they said you are liable to be examined / further examined by me or another border force immigration officer under paragraph 22A of the Schedule 2 of the Immigration Act of 1971. So this was the reason why she was detained. So I went further to look up this immigration section to see what it means, like why, what was the grounds for her detention. And then paragraph 22A of Schedule 2 of the Immigration Act of 1971 states that where the person's leave to enter derives, that means leave to enter is your visa, your permission to enter the United Kingdom. So where the person leaves to enter derives by virtue of section 3A3 from an entry clearance, it may also be examined by an immigration officer for the purpose of establishing whether the leave should be cancelled on the grounds that the person's purpose in arriving in the United Kingdom is different from the purpose specified in the entry clearance. So they just want to determine whether she is genuine. That is it. Because you can't say you're coming to study and you know that the duration of your master's is for a year and you haven't sorted out your accommodation. You cannot. I mean, that was why they had to detain her for further investigation to be sure that, is this person a student? They went on probing her to the point that they said, open your visa application. What if she does not have that handy? And what if she was not involved in the whole process and she didn't even know her login details and everything? How was she going to do it? No. So it is important that, guys, when we are passing through immigration control, we have all our questions straight, we have all our answers straight, we know where we're going, you know what course we're studying, and even if you're coming on a work visa as well, you know where you're landing, you know where you're staying, you know the kind of job you're doing, you know your expected salary, because that is your final test before you enter into the United Kingdom, to show that yes, you're not just coming here to become a nuisance, you're coming here to either work or study. But that's not even the final thing on our form. Let's read further. It states that you are liable to be detained under section 2 of the UK Borders Act 2007, because I think you are paragraph 61A of Schedule 2 of the Immigration Act, pending your examination and pending a decision to give or refuse you permission to enter. This is what I always tell people. They have the right, the immigration border force have the right to refuse you permission to enter, whether or not you have a valid visa. So the fact that you have gotten your visa is just like 50%. The remaining 50% lies at the border force, and you have to ensure that you're fit and proper. I'm not saying that you should panic, okay? I'm just saying that get your story straight, so that, because sometimes some people get into similar issues and then they'll say, oh, sorry, because it depends on the officer handling your case. Some officer will say, oh, sorry, after careful consideration and examination, we're not sure you're a genuine student, we can't allow you to come into the UK. So you have to be very, very careful when you're passing through the border force to get your story straight, to know where you're going to stay, so that you do not have any difficulty, coming into the United Kingdom eventually. Let's read the form further. And I have suspended your permission to enter or remain under paragraph 2A7 of the Schedule 2 to the Immigration Act of 1971. I've also retained your passport, identity card, or travel documents. And then the routes are details, and that is it. So guys, they suspended our entry, took our passport from her, If they take your passport like that and then they did not grant you permission to enter, you will be on the next flight. Like, all you have seen is just that border. You'll be on the next flight back to wherever you are coming from. So it is important, guys. I just need to put this out there for those of you coming into the United Kingdom. If you have anyone coming, share this video with them, especially now that immigration rules are becoming tighter and stricter and all of that. You just have to be careful so that you, at the end of the day, you don't find yourself in a position where all what you have suffered for, what you have labored for, is now in vain because you didn't know simple answers to simple questions like where you're going to be staying. So I'm so glad that at the end of the day she was able to, like, then, you know, convince them that, oh, she really made effort to search for accommodation, but it wasn't, you know, fruitful. That was why she had to stay, and she has made reservation for like up to a month at Airbnb, and then she'll definitely find an accommodation that she's here and she'll have a place to stay. So that is really key, guys. If you haven't seen my video on Precast interview, go and watch it, because that video, I'll leave the link somewhere in this video. That video has the answer to every possible questions that could be asked at the border control, force, at the border force, at the immigration control. So it tells you what you have to say. You just have to know everything. You have to know about it. Even if you have used an agent, you have to discard everything and be involved in the process at that point, because the agents will not help you pass through. The agents will not help you pass, through immigration. It has to be you yourself. So you have to know what course you're studying. You have to know where you're going to stay. You have to know the duration of your course. You have to know your valid when your visa is starting, the end dates of your visa, the end dates of your course. You have to know what you're there for. You have to know your modules. So it's important that you take note of all of this, and I really wish everyone all the best as you're making your journey and your way into the United Kingdom. Okay, that is just the news I have for you guys today. So if you know that you're coming into the UK, ensure that you share this video with anyone coming into the UK, or you ensure that you watch this video to avoid stories that touch, because until you pass that immigration border, my brother, my sister, anything can happen. Anyway, guys, I still remain your baby girl Yeti. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and stay blessed till I come your way next time. Bye, guys.